Hello. Okay, today we're going to look at this. Oh, there it is, sorry. We're looking at the CCIT P8. Now, at first looks, uh, you can obviously see the design language of this. It's a kind of very cheap iPhone 10 or iPhone X looking uh, Android phone. Okay, so let me just go over the specs because there's some good things about this and there's some bad things about it. The specs from the box say 1.5 a quad core processor. It says 3 GB of RAM, and I have no reason to not believe that because every app that I have used to check it has said the same thing. It's Android 7, has saying that it's 16 and 8 megapixel cameras. I don't believe that. 32 GB at ROM, which is about right, and it has a 3000 mAh battery. So if you can see here, of course, one of these camera lenses is sorry. Let me just check my monitor here. One of these camera lenses is fake, so which seems to be the norm for a lot of these cheap looking Chinese brands. Anyway, this is the first CCIT phone that I have owned, and this one I got from 360 Souk, and it cost, I think it was 230 reals. Is it worth it? Well, it could have been worth it. Let me get into it. So I put on, just out of interest, I put on the Microsoft launcher here because I didn't like the stock launcher that it came with. So it says that it has a 5-inch 720p screen, but Antutu says otherwise. So let me just open Antutu for you, and we will see. Actually, you know, for 230 reals, it's not bad. It doesn't feel particularly. It's not as solid as the Mi One phones that I recently reviewed. You see here at the bottom it's got single speaker, and at the top it's got the headphone jack and the micro USB. So Antutu was 20,891, which, you know, I thought it might be a bit faster. But so let me just get into the info here. So the resolution of the screen is 960 by 540, and that's about 5 inches. And let me just, it's got a Mali 400 GPU. I just want to make sure that I've given you the it's quad core or octa core, because I've forgotten. I've been using this for a week. So it's an MTK 6580, and it is 8 cores. So it's saying here. So Antutu, I thought it'd be a wee bit higher, but Antutu is saying that yeah, it's genuinely got a 3 GB of RAM, and I mean actually it doesn't feel too bad using it. So the screen is that unusual resolution, but actually the screen I think is the best part of the whole phone. The screen is not bad at all. Okay, it's got two quite big bands here. Obviously it's looking like the iPhone 10 here at the top, but the screen actually is not bad at all. And what I do like here, the back button here, as you can see, let me just see there where it lights up. So that's the back home button, sorry, and there's also a back button that doesn't light up. I actually like the home button that is lit there, so excuse the overhead light maybe reflecting on that screen. So yeah, so the screen I think is the best part of it. Now the let's get into the worst part first of all. So when I buy any of these phones now, experience has told me to install stubborn Trojan Killer. So when I installed that, let's see, it's asking for a phone network. Okay, so ignore that. When I installed stubborn Trojan Killer, it's telling me that there are two Trojans on this phone, and the only way that you can get rid of them is by rooting it and then running stubborn Trojan Killer again. So I tried the King root. It's not going to connect here, but I tried King root. It didn't. It didn't root it. I tried Kingo root, and it couldn't root it. So I couldn't get rid of the two Trojans that stubborn Trojan Killer was alerting me to. I mean, it might be able to get rooted later with King root. I see that there's been a number of requests for this phone to be, the solution to be installed or downloaded or whatever, whoever is the King root people. So it might eventually get root. So I haven't noticed anything yet with regards to. Don't worry about that. This is the CPU identifier. I haven't noticed anything yet with regards to the Trojan, so I don't really know what it's doing, but it could be one of these ones after a while that it's just downloading and installing crap programs that just become, just really very annoying, and you just have to keep deleting them. It could be that. I haven't noticed anything when I've been using it at the moment. So with that, with the fact that it's alerting to two Trojans, I can't really recommend it. It's a shame because it's a cheap phone and the screen is not bad at all. But because of that, I can't recommend it because it just might end up being really annoying. So here on the CPU identifier app, it's identifying it slightly differently. It's saying it's 1.3 and it's a 6582 MediaTek times 4, but it confirms the Mali GPU, and it's also confirming the resolution, which is not 720, it's 540 by 960, but it does confirm that it has 3 GB of RAM. So I tried also just out of interest, this is CPU Z. Let me see if I can show you it here. And it's saying it's a 6580 at 1.3. The box says 1.5. Cores it's saying is 8. And it confirms that again it's 201 DPI for the pixel count, and it's 540 times 960. And it's confirming again that it's got 3 GB of RAM, 32 GB ROM. So, if it didn't have the Trojan issue, then I don't think it's too bad. I mean, actually, when I got this from 360 Suit, can't remember if I told you that, for that price, and I ordered the red one, and I would have preferred the red one because I think the gold one kind of makes it look even cheaper. I think the red one would have given it a wee bit of, I don't know, character, whatever you want to call it. I think it would have been better. That's why I'd ordered it. But anyway, the gold one came, and they did apologise when I informed them that they sent me the wrong colour. Now the camera, again, it's probably that interpolated software 16 megapixel camera, if it is that, but the camera is pretty mediocre. So don't expect anything, you're not getting the same kind of camera as you're getting from this, which is my Sony. Oh, see that? I love to see that there. with the cameras. It's pretty funny. So look, don't expect a great camera, because you will be disappointed. Okay. Um, Running this Microsoft launcher, it is working pretty decently. And as I say about the Antutu, I was surprised. I thought it would be a bit higher than that, but of course, as I've said many times before, I've grown not to really trust these benchmarking apps, certainly Antutu, because a lot of times it is not accurate. I mean, I just think about the Clatio Media Center player thing that I did the review of, and it was saying it was 160,000, which is no way. 1 GB of RAM and quite a slow processor. So it's it's not definitely not accurate. So don't rely on it. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, look, the screen is. I like the screen. I think it is really pretty nice, decent. Let me see what brightness I have on there. It's just less than 50% brightness, which I just think it's pretty decent. Now, I am suggesting that it's not got any. It didn't come with a screensaver applied, which is the norm for a lot of these phones, because they don't really have any kind of protective glass on them. Now, if I remember, in the box, let me just try and open it here for you. Came with obviously the charger. Comes with a plastic back cover, earphones, and is it got a screensaver here? Screen protector? Yeah. Let me just check. Is it? Yeah. So it's got, and it feels like one of these kind of glass ones that feels quite thick. So you get some accessories, which is like, not bad, especially when you consider the price. And if we don't have a major problem with the what do you call it, with the Trojan, it might be alright as a cheap second phone, something, that, or if you want to pretend that you have the iPhone 10, I'm not, I'll fix that later. Of course, it's, as soon as you open it, people are going to realize you don't have the iPhone 10 because of these big bands on the screen. My wife actually, I bought my wife the iPhone 10, and I might do a review of it. So keep an eye out for that. If she actually lets me, if she gives me it to give you a review, I may do a review of it. So this CCIT P8 comes with a number of accessories. So again, maybe as a second phone, or if you're just looking for a really cheap phone, don't do your banking on it. Or your credit card stuff, just in case, about these Trojans, because really I don't know. I don't know what they do. I'm just know that there's something on the phone that is suspicious, and it could be sending. You read about these malware that is sending information back to somebody in China or something. I'm not sure, so I wouldn't be doing a lot of stuff that was having a lot of my personal data. Otherwise, I mean, for some people, okay, they might want it. I'm just not going to I'm not going to recommend it, just because because of that Trojan thing. So the back cover, it's dual SIM, if I didn't say that. The back cover, is one of these type, and it snaps off somehow. Yeah, there you go. So is dual SIM, as you can see here, and SD card slot as well. So and the battery you can replace. Just snap, and it snaps back on. Again, look, it just the quality of this phone just kind of, it's not. I would say it's kind of medium to poor. I don't know how to describe it, but it's when you lift it up, you just don't feel that. Well, okay, maybe you feel that you're lifting up a 230 real phone. And as I say, I've watched the iPlayer on here, and I watched some YouTube stuff, and the screen I'm happy with. I think it is nice, and I don't think you could really complain about it. And put a launcher of your choice. It might, some people might be happy with it. What else do I want to say about it? The it's a torch here. And it's pretty bright actually. That's a flash. Now let me just put this down here. Get down. Get down. Okay, so that is really all I can say about it. It's a kind of poor iPhone 10 aesthetic about it. There's a lot of these phones going around now on different companies under different brands, but they all kind of look the same. So, and also, buyer beware, as they say, is that if you look on a lot of websites and they're advertising these phones that kind of look like iPhone 10, they're all showing a lot of them are showing the screen that is full, not with the black borders here. So please don't buy a phone thinking that you're going to get a completely borderless screen, because you're not. You're going to get something like this. It might be a bit bigger, it might be 5.5 inches, but you're not going to get a iPhone 10 like screen. So buyer beware. You are only paying 230 for it. Now that's the CPU identifier again. I must have pressed that accidentally. Speaker is not bad actually. The speaker's quite loud, and some of the music that I put on it, I listen to it with my trusty Sony's, and yeah, it was fine. The Bluetooth worked fine. I didn't notice any problems with it, and I just thought that it sounded, pretty decent. So I've not any complaints about it. Just before I go, I did install the Malware Bytes app to see if it would, it would help trying to get these Trojans, but no, it didn't help. And every time I've used it, actually, it's great on the PC. If you get the month free trial, I mean, it's a great PC program. But every time I've tried it on Android, when there's been something suspicious, it's never really helped. So if you're going to buy this phone, as I say, just beware that it's been identified by stubborn Trojan Killer. There are two Trojans, and it is asking for root, and there is no way to root it that I can find, but I'm not a root expert, and you might be able to root it. And usually if you can root it, and King root might come up with a solution, usually you can get rid of these Trojans. I've done it before in the past with the Ramos phone that I had, and also with an S-Color phone that I had a while ago. So it is possible to get rid of them, but you got to get root. Kingo Root offers a PC program that you can download onto your PC, and it has a higher success rate. But again, you have to be very careful, because you can, and I have done, you can brick your phone, or it's just really becomes really difficult to, it can be unbricked. But it happened with one of the phones a while ago when I first started doing reviews. I think it was the LayTV Pro or something, the one that I had. So you just have to be careful if you're using the Kingo Root PC application. So that's it. The CCIT P8 kind of iPhone 10 clone. Can't recommend it because there's Trojan, unfortunately. And if you're going to buy it, just be aware of that and the fact that it may end up downloading some unwanted programs for you. Now, the best thing about it is the screen, and the specs, other than the camera, seem to be genuine. I can't 100% confirm that, but it seems to have 3 GB RAM, 32 GB ROM. So, if you're happy enough to go with it with the Trojans, then don't go for the gold color. It looks cheap. I would go for the black or the red, I think it is. I think it would look better. Okay, so anybody got any questions, any comments, any complaints? I don't know, some people want to complain for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why. I'm just trying to help people make a informed decision before they spend their cash. Leave a comment down below and I will do my best to answer in a short amount of time. That's it. Thank you. See ya. Bye.